Oh, hey, down here. Well, I forgot to do my little music intro. I'm confused today. All right, so check my stream, make sure everything's working. I'm gonna go back to work on the. Okay, I'm gonna go back to work on my little reinstalling my new fan, or one of my new fans. I've got 3 of them in my little pack of fans here. I went ahead and moved my table over here, and I actually, well, that's fine. I forgot I was gonna aim this so that I could, you know, have a dual camera view when I wanted to. But I guess that was fine. Yeah, that'll show my workbench, and then I can do the close-up aim, because sometimes, you know, I get out of the view when I have to do anything, you know. But here we go. I've got the endoscope over here. So I'm going to start with just the endoscope, and then maybe if I need to, I'll switch. But this way I can use the preview to see to line things up. But what I thought was I'm going to go ahead and I got my cable and stuff out so that I can test the, you know, after all that much trouble, I thought, if I've got to do all this work on one of these to get it to install, ooh, careful, you're going to pull the wires off of it. There, get it off of there. And if I got to do that much work, then I'm going to test them, you know, hook them up to some power and make sure they work. So I'll just leave it like that. And this one here, I'll test it first. I've got some little jumper wires. I can't remember. I guess the last time I tested them on 12 and 5 volts. Let's see. But I've got this here that I can. I'm going to do 5 volts first because I can't really remember. If it seems to run really slow, then I'll try 12 volts. I don't know. On that card, it seems like I figured it out somehow, but it's not. I can't find it marked on the card anywhere. The voltage that you know, like a lot of times there'd be marks. Let's turn around this way and see. I don't actually have. Well, that's all right. I don't want the light on right now. I don't think, or do I? Yeah, I don't see anything that would give me the indication. What the card, you know, it could be putting out 5 or 12 or 3.5, but I'm sure it's 5 or 12, you know. And I'll put those 2 in the middle are both ground wires, so I'll put it over to the next one to make sure I don't accidentally short them out. Now, that should give me just what I need to plug this up. I made one longer than the other on purpose so that they don't short out when they're jumping around the table. But I'm going to put a little kink in it or something so that I can get them to line up. Whoops, that one came out already. I have to kind of put a little bend in the end of the wire so it'll stay in there. Let's try that again. Guess I better put a little more bend in it. It's already got some in it. I thought it would be fine. Just bend it a little bit more. There. Yeah, I think maybe they'll stay now. It's gonna be super tight, but they gotta be tight enough to stay. I want it dangling off the table because then blades will hit stuff. Okay, it's not going. me check my voltage there. It should be, I should be getting voltage. Got my multimeter out and ready in case I needed it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this is not awkward at all. Okay, come on. Oh yeah, let's spin that, straighten it back out before I end up shorting them out. I got them in the right places. Now, if that brand new fan didn't work, boy, would I be pissed. Okay, let's see. Why is it showing negative? Oh, it's not. I don't think I'm getting my voltage for some reason. Surely there's not something wrong with it. It didn't come loose down there, did it? No. It's in there. Good. Well, let me try the other ground. Maybe I thought they were, either one would work. Maybe they don't do it that way. So I had it on the second ground, and it is the closest one to the 12-volt wire. Maybe they have to be in the one next to them. I thought they were common grounds, common to each other. All on the same rail, same wire, same everything. That's still not getting me any power. Well, if I could get my leads to touch anything like I want it to. Takes 12 hands to do anything anymore. I've got a piece of red tape on the one that I have plugged into the positive, so I won't mix that up. The ends of these leads on this multimeter are so short. We're not getting anything. I don't know why. Maybe I have something that's not putting out. Let's test this. Yeah, it's just hunting and staying in the millivolt range. Now that works. I've got 11.81 volts, but for some reason we don't have a good circuit in that 5 volt. I bet you it's, unless it's actually negative voltage, yeah, it just ain't working. Huh. That's just pretty weird. I don't know why it would be doing that. There are a couple more. Well, it wouldn't matter. There's a couple more on this that are wound up. There's a red and a black. Well, let's see. It could be anywhere. I've got a lot of different connections here, so it could be a long ways down this circuit. Oh, depends on how I have it wired up. Oh, those other two that I'm thinking of are not wired up. That's the reason. I have this wired. It's a jumper I set up. I wired it for, you can either wire, I can either wire it for 12 volts or wire it for, it's actually meant to be 5 volts, but I have it wired to the 12 volt right now. It's a fan adapter. And then I have, anyway, none of that's really important. I figured it out. Okay, let's see. There we go. That's why we didn't have no power. Because I'm going to, I need to put, I've got it wired to the 12 volt. There we go. So now we should have 12 volts. I believe the last time I tested that other fan, I decided that 5 volts, it ran so slow that I decided it needed 12 volts. Because that was the last thing I used this on. Okay, now. Well, that's why you always want to have your multimeter handy, huh? Because your memory doesn't always work good. Mine don't. 1181, okay. I just didn't, I'd used this recently and I didn't think there should be anything wrong with put this fan somewhere besides right on the edge of the table if I can. Okay, there we go. This way, this way. Now, I want to kind of get it, I'm using my preview to help me. I can't look at the preview and plug them in, I'm not that coordinated, but it does help to use it as a preview to see where I'm going to be plugging into. There, got it running, okay. So that one works. They're not very powerful. You can stop them. I don't want to stop a brand new one all the way all together, but it's working. They sure don't move much air. I can't really imagine them. Actually, all the air you can feel is around the. I guess that's the way it's meant to do. Blow through the fins of that thing. So let's just test them all. I guess I'll go ahead and continue to use that one as the one I install. Well, let's just make sure they all work before we, since we got it all this out. Okay. Red. Black. There we go. It works. That one, I swear, goes faster. Or it just makes more noise. It rattles a little bit. I'm not trying to stick my hands in it, I'm just trying to feel the air. I can feel a little air going there. I wouldn't, well, there could be differences, I mean. One could be just a little better than the other, you know. Let's see, but it also, the fact that I could kind of hear it rattling a little, it could be that it's unbalanced. So it might not be the one I want. There we go. There it's on. I think I will go with one of the quieter ones. But I swear that other one seemed like I could feel more air coming off of it though. This one seems just like the first one I did. I'm going to plug that other one in one more time. That's got me curious. I thought, well, maybe I just had it, you know, I was twisting the wire kind of to what was most convenient to me to plug it in. I thought, well, maybe I just made it lean, you know, more one way than the other or something. That one, I just swear I feel a little vibration, but I also feel, I swear I feel more air coming off of it. Huh. Yeah, I think it may vibrate a little bit. So I don't want a noisy fan, that's for sure. I think I'm going to stick with the first one I had out. Put this, I got to put it somewhere where, I'll put it up there. Oh yeah, well let's try this one more time before we decide it's the one. It's the original one that I just grabbed, you know, I just grabbed one. Said, well, this one, look, put it on. But, yeah, positive to positive. Oh, it's running. The wire didn't want to plug in very good, but, well, I can feel a little air off of that one. And it's quiet, doesn't seem to rattle, so that's the one. Okay, that's the one I'll put in there. Now, let me get my old fan that made all that noise. Plug it up and see what it does. It only heard it making noise when it was in the heatsink, you know, in the GPU. So in the red one. Yep. Oh, hit it just by accident. Whoops, but it didn't go in the stay there. My wire fell out on the other end down here and it was still spinning. I was like, what? And it just took a while to stop spinning. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea, was it? Okay, let's try that one more time. I'll plug it in here first and then get that back out of the way. Put that in there. Now, those are looser, much looser than that connector. It is, you know, that one is easier to stop. I can feel a little more air off of it. Yeah. But it's a lot easier to stop, I think. But I know it makes noise, so I just don't know why it makes noise. It doesn't make noise except for when it's in the machine. So, see, it spins for a long time. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Usually the magnets, you know, stop them fairly quickly anyway. It's got fairly heavy magnets on it. It's twice as heavy. You can feel the difference. Twice as heavy magnet-wise as this one. And usually I hear people saying, you know, I don't know if that really matters necessarily, but people think that means it's a better motor, you know, if it has more magnets. It's heavy. If it's heavier, it has more windings in it and magnets that are heavier, you know, maybe. But anyway. So that's where, you know, if you haven't seen that already, that's where it's going. In my little, it's just a 512 megabyte DVI, NVIDIA, and HDMI video card. And the problem is with screws that are with it, that with the original ones, they're not long enough. They're hard to line up, number one. I think I'm going to have to waller out one of these holes. But the other thing, because it's just not exactly the same as the old one. But the other thing is, these are countersunk quite nicely, and about halfway through, deep. And so the screws are long enough. But without the countersink, you don't get a thread on them. I tried to do what you would normally do, and you know, get them started but leave them loose. I'd put them all the way down and then back off a little bit, and they'd come right back. They'd come loose, so I can't get the darn thing on there. So I'm just going to use a drill. I got to thinking, I've got a countersink or two, but you know, they're one of them's a 1/2 inch in diameter, the other one's probably about a 1/4 inch, and you don't have nothing like that. You barely have this. You really don't hardly have the width of the countersink in between those blades. Imagine that was done before the fan was assembled. So I'm going to have to try to countersink it enough for those screws. As a matter of fact, I'll find a bit that's the same size as the head of these screws, or just a little bigger. There they are. And what do I do with all that stuff? Put my wiring kind of out of the way there. Make sure it can't short out. Actually, I'm going to unplug all that because you never know what you might get into, cause leaving, you know, hot wires laying around. So I've got this little old kit, you know, that's for you using with your drill and everything, but you can, I can just use my little ratchet screwdriver, you know, these things will go in there. Here, the thing that I'm thinking of is using is, that actually goes up in here, one way or the other, there. This is real handy for, you know, working with your drill and everything, but I didn't bring my mic in. I didn't really think I'd need it, but I didn't even think about it necessarily. But maybe this'll, that's probably about the right size. Well, that's, I think it must be magnetized. I think I heard that screw bounce. Yeah, that'll fit in there. Okay, let's see. I almost need my, if I can hold it and get these little needle nose. I can't get my big fat fingers out of the way, and actually my fingers aren't fat. I got pretty small hands, but there we go. That may be just about right. It might be just a little too small. Let's go up one size. I've got another whole set of drills, but oh, I remember what I was thinking about doing. I have some that are, that's about right. It's either going to be this, or I think I'll start with that, and if it doesn't seem to want to work good, I've got some that are for wood, but they have a little tiny point on them. Can I let go of it? There. Have a little tiny point on them that are, it's just right for, you know, it'll help center it. And I thought that might be good. Let me get one of those and see if I'd rather use that. I'll leave that half open. I was leaving it open, laying there. Yeah, and I do that, and then I'll kick it or pick it up or something, not realize it's open. Guess where everything inside will go, all over the place. Now I've got this one. I didn't realize you could see my whole lap with me sitting way back here, so I don't have to worry about the field of view too much, do I? Alright. And what I was talking about was these here. They have points. Break it. Don't break any of that. This thing holds them pretty good. There. I think that one may be bigger than this other one. Where are we at? Well, I think maybe they're about the same size. So if I get my screw, let's get this out of my lap. I'm gonna drop it. Don't want to drop it. Okay, now. just put that under there because it'll give me a place to drop it when I want to drop it. See, it's got that point on it that would help center it. Oh, but they're flat on the end. Oh, that's not going to countersink. Now, what it might be good for is this one might be good for drilling out that hole. Actually, with that flat nose, that's just not going to be any good. It won't. Don't tell them where it'll try to go. I didn't remember they were like that. Guess because I can't see good enough to tell until I get something to magnify. Okay. So, yeah, I've got one. It's really about the crappiest countersink I've ever seen. As far as, it looks good, like it would work good, but all it does is vibrate. It doesn't want to cut. It's dull. It was dull from the day it was born. And all it does is vibrate. It's terrible. It doesn't even work good in wood. It's so bad. I use it sometimes when I need a real countersink, but this is a Black & Decker set that I was given for Christmas years ago. Had it many years and got plenty of use out of it, but they're not the best tools. And those, well, you know, that other one was Craftsman. I don't know that it's necessarily any better. Something else already broke. One or two things broken in. Oh yeah, the set screw for the one of those parts there. Let's see. Where is the fan? Oh, here we go. Now the one I'm thinking about going ahead and doing is this one, as far as wallering it out. Oh, okay. That will waller it out. But I also want to countersink it. Now let's put, what I was going to do is put it in here, and I can do it as a ratchet or the other way. Doesn't really matter. Oh, but it won't stay. This just doesn't have a good magnet. Well, I'm glad I brought the other one in. The other one is actually, I've used it. This one's kind of cool. It's adjustable. I keep trying to put it in the picture, but you can be crooked. That's solid either way. That'll be fine, as long as it doesn't fall out. And let's see. So, yeah, like that is the one. Well, it doesn't hold it either. That makes me mad. I probably have something out in the garage that would hold it, but I think I can just do this by, see, since it's got this, it's just enough for, I mean, this is plastic. I'm not doing anything really hard to do there. I'll just twist it a few times and see if it's pretty soft, so I don't know that I want to go all the way through. If I go too far, oh yeah, this is about the same size as the head, so no. This is the one I got for countersinking with. I can't see if I'm making any headway there. Yeah, it's working. It's kind of a dull drill. Probably need a bigger one than that. I do. I need a bigger one than that. Okay. I just remembered, when you want to use a drill as a countersink, they're not the right angle. But you want one that's bigger. For one thing, they're not the right angle. And the other thing is, you want one that's bigger than the bigger than the head of the screw you're doing. Not the same size, what I was sitting there, you know, I forgot. Because that's the only way you're going to get anything near a countersink out of it. Otherwise, it's just really going to drill a hole a little bit bigger than you screwed. Anything bigger than that wouldn't fit between the blades either, so that's my only option there. Since it's plastic, I think I can do it by hand. Okay. It's too hard to keep spinning it, so I'll just go back and forth. Probably going to end up... Well, it's harder plastic than I thought. That's okay. There's at least less danger of me going real far on accident. Wow. I don't think that drill is that dull. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe I'll have to get one of these other drills, a regular drill. This has got, I can twist it pretty easy. That's why I was wanting to use it. I'm scared to hit it with a drill, really. I plugged in my battery. My battery, I've only got one battery that works at all, and it's like half power and works for about 10 or 15 minutes now. I need batteries for my cordless drill big time. But I did plug it in case I had to try and use it. Oh, better pay more attention because it's been working and I wasn't seeing it. Can you see it? Well, that clear. Let's see. Yeah, it's been working. I've gone pretty far. Wow. If I'd have made that hole, yeah, that's about where I want it. Okay, well, I'm glad I noticed it in time. I just couldn't believe it wasn't doing it. And if I have to, it's a little bit more. If I have to make that hole bigger, which I probably will, I'll use one just bigger than the hole that's there. That's about right. All this just to install a silly little old fan. Well, I was a bargain hunter. But the thing is, I didn't see any that would necessarily be any better. You know, there wasn't any that said they were for that. I don't remember even seeing one that said OEM replacement for this brand of, you know, card. If it did, it would have been 25 bucks or something. Maybe 10 or 15 bucks. If these fans, you could get them from 3 for $280 something to $287, I think it was, or you could get one for $250, and then you and be waiting, you know, like a month, like I did. Or if you want to get them quick, you could do. I think there was something like $5.50 or $5.80, and then there was on up $15, $20, you know. And there's no big difference between the quality of those things. That one doesn't, either I can't see it or it's not countersinking like the others did. Keep looking. It really hasn't done it yet. Pushing a little more now. It's beginning to do it. I think where's my air compressor when I need it? Let's see. look at them. You look at them in the. That one is done pretty good. I think that one is. That one may not be done as much as I thought. That one's done pretty good. Yeah. Maybe this one's not done enough. That one don't look like it is. It's hard to tell. It's hard to see it for me anyway, but it's hard to see it on the, that was the first one. I thought I had done a lot. Maybe it's fooling me because depends on where you look at it. Yeah, I think it's done enough. Make sure I don't get all the plastic out of that fan itself. Okay, so I think I'll see if it'll line up before I go drilling. Well, yeah, let's go ahead. I know it wouldn't line up to save its life, so I think I'll leave this one out of its spot until I'm sure I'm done. Okay, let's see. I've stuck a few things in here that, you know, didn't come with the kit. And I have broken a few. Is that a broken one? Yeah, I think. No? No, it's not broken. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's broke. No, it's not broken. It may just be dull. I'm not sure why. It's not broken at either end. Oh, no, it won't stay in there. I guess it's one I had bought or something. Well, I'll put it back. It was in there where this was, but I don't have too many good places. Let's put it there. There's where I bought a couple of 1/4 inch, and you know, those are the ones you use kind of real often. I think there's one there that's probably really dull or something. Anyway, what was I going to do? Oh, find one that would just drill that out. And the one I'm going to drill out is the one that I've been leaving for the last one. Let's see. I really kind of wish I had my... Yeah, that wants to go through there. That's about the closest thing I'm going to have. Oh, huh. You can't put your regular drill in that thing anyway. So I'll have to do it by hand. Yeah, those extra little grinding rocks, they didn't come with it. Okay, so just make sure this is not... Oh, that's too big. I can see that. I think I'll go ahead and try putting it in first again, because I think that's magnetized too. Some of my stuff gets magnetized being close to a magnet, because I have a magnet in my toolbox that I lay my screwdrivers on. Also, if I drop something in, you know, and I want to hunt for it with the magnet, a screw or something, then I use it for that. But also I lay my magnetized screwdrivers on it in my toolbox to help them stay magnetized. It's a earth magnet, and it helps. But this has been laying on it too by accident, evidently. I mean, that doesn't hurt, but it kind of wants to make it go off to the side instead of... Yeah, that's too big. that would make that screw, that's almost exactly the same. It's a little bigger than the head of that screw. That would make the screw go all the way through there. So yeah, I used to have the best eyes. It's really aggravating to not be able to see things. I always had, well, I was farsighted, but I had better than 20/20 vision. And, you know, I could see to do all that stuff. I didn't have a magnifying glass. Well, I had one, but I didn't keep it out in my tools like I do now, you know. And I didn't have to do that. And like this little endoscope, of course, I'm mostly using it for the video, but, well, not now. Not right now, I'm not. I use it for the video that's the whole reason that's what I usually get it out for, is for the video. But it's turning into, like, now that I've got my table set up where I can see the preview, it's an invaluable tool for us working. Now I'm going to go ahead and go all the way where I can use that preview. I'm going to go close, just the endoscope. Now I can actually see it. I can't, it's not any use to me unless it's big enough, you know. The preview's too small. I mean, this is still not a full screen preview on the monitor, so I think that has to go. Yeah, you have to get the wire in there, or else it won't lay down to where you can put the screws in it. But you gotta have it in the right place. There, I think that might be it. This is how I did it last time, and yeah, it does some good that way. Okay, now I'll use my little point, and I'll leave it in there and try to get one of the others started. Oh, you can't get to it. Okay. So I'll try starting this one. I don't know if it matters which one I start first. Oh, I got to get a screw ready. Have to have it on the end of the screwdriver, because I can get that in place. Push a little pressure on the middle of that fan, and there. Look at that. There. Yeah. Uh-oh, it turned. Since you got to go through these fan blades, you can't line up one and then I was wondering what was knocking the view off with my finger. I don't know why it won't start. It seems like it should. I wonder if this one is actually messed up. It's possible. Okay, let's take the fan off there and see if I can get a screw in it. I think it might be messed up. I don't know when I did it. know how I'm going to fix it. I don't let me tap that size or that thread. Probably just got boogered up right on the top. I was sticking the Phillips screwdriver in there trying to line them up. I just wasn't thinking because it's too big, you know, and it probably could have boogered it up. It did. Let's see. It wants to start. Oh, I think it's going okay. I think it's just, again, well, I mean, it's not anywhere all the way near all the way down. I think it's hitting the bottom of the, that's the other thing I was worried about. I thought, like whenever I wasn't sure I was going to find one of these screws. I'm trying to see if it screws okay. I think it is. Looked like I could see the circuit board in there when I was looking at it with a light. So I thought, well, heck, there's many little components that are on these circuit boards. Yeah, you can. I don't know. I think it was, I don't think it went all the way to the bottom. Yeah, that thing is pretty thick. It didn't. I realize now because look how thick it is. That's way longer than thicker than that screw is long. It's the hole is messed up. I can see all the. With this magnifying glass, this extra close one, I can see the metal in there. I don't know how I'm not sure how I'm gonna do anything about that. Try to clean it out. I was trying to be easy on him, you know, and not. Probably just boogered it up at the top. Let's try another one. Let's look at this screw first with my. See if it's got anything on the end of it or anything. Yeah, I think it does have some aluminum on it. Yep. Well, let's let that be the thing to catch it. Okay, what I'm going to try to do is get it off of there without losing it. I want to hold it by the screw head this time and try to clean the. Just having to do it by feel. How am I going to clean it? The only thing I really have. I can't see it, I'm just guessing the end of it. If I tried to hold it up close to that, then I can't hold still, so. And it's pretty hard to adjust that. I can adjust it, pull it up and down in the tripod, but it's pretty hard to align it where you want to, because it's on a really long cable, and that cable wants to go every which way, so. I'm just not gonna do it. It's just aluminum, it's really soft, you know, so it should just come out of there. Don't have a small wire brush, I just have a really big one. Screw that little, it would knock it out of there and it'd be gone. This is actually pretty, you know, using your utility knife, a pretty good way to clean out threads. I do it quite a lot on all sizes of. I don't think it's working though. I don't think you can see that, but. I can't really tell in that preview. Oh, maybe it's not as bad as I saw. I don't think it is. Okay, let's look at these others now. Yeah, I think they're okay. Okay, I'm gonna try one of the others. If I can keep them separated. I'm gonna try the other holes, and I'll try that one again, and let's get this other screwdriver. I don't know if one's better than the other or not, but this one's a little longer. It's the main difference it has. A big problem is I can't even feel which end is which on this thing. It's so little. There. I couldn't do it without the magnet screwdriver at all. Let's go ahead and make sure these holes work. There we go. Yeah. That didn't seem to have any resistance. Huh. It doesn't go very far before it wants to stop, and that doesn't really make sense. I mean, these are the screws that came out of here, unless I'm getting them in there crooked. I don't think they ever went in very far, is one thing. Yeah, okay, well that feels like it would be enough to hold. That's about as far as I think it would ever go because of the thickness of that. Thickness of that. That one goes down in there further than any of them so far. Yeah. So that hole's in the best shape, I think. Let's see what this one's like. With this screw, this is a different screw. Yeah, I just went ahead and pushed a little harder. This screwdriver really gets a hold of the screws better than the other one, I think. I pushed and twisted a little harder this time, since I don't have really any way to clean it out but the screw itself. Careful, let's lose it again. There. Okay, now hopefully I've got that hole cleaned out enough. When you blow on something with your mouth like that to clean it off instead of using your air compressor, you end up with crap on your tongue half the time. Can't blow without having your mouth open, but or at least it feels like it. All right, let's see if we can put it in there now. I still don't know if I've got enough leeway. Yeah, I think I've finally figured out which one, 1, 2, 3, that it should go in. I wonder if turning on that light would help me see that. Oh. Yeah, I see there's a lot. It's a bit too much, kind of, but maybe not. There. I think it landed right in the right place. Let's try one of these screws. You know, I haven't checked my stream. I did check it when I started, I think. Oh, I got... Reload it. I just started with the wireless mic because, well, this tripod and everything's in the way of the mic, boom mic, the SM58 on the boom. I just started with the wireless mic. Yep, you're still good. Okay, so let's try. Oh, it moved. I think I might have got it started. Let's see. I think I might have got it. Yeah. Oh, and they are countersync. I can really see now. So that went right to the bottom and tightened up in a hurry. And I gotta loosen it, but not too much, because they all before, you know, they kept coming out. In my previous video, I went round and around and around trying to get it to. Yeah, that's the wrong place. Let's try this one, because that one fools you because it's been scratched so many times. You can't see the screw holes very good. Where is it? There it is. That's way off. It's way off too. I think that I still ain't gonna be able to get it on there. I remember I got this one and this one to go in, and then I couldn't get the last one in. So I think I don't want to keep sticking something in the hole there. And I don't think the wire is fighting me. Let's take it out of there just to make sure. This aluminum is pretty soft, so, you know, usually you can use a pointy object to line things up pretty without messing up your screws, but I messed up the screws on that other one. Oh, that's way, way off. Oh, well, so is that one now. Maybe I don't have it lined up at all. I just thought I did. There. Yeah, that's holding them, those two off from getting lined up at all. Loosen up a little more, but I don't think I can. That one seems like it might have the most countersink, so it would be the one that I could fudge it around with. That original fan was really hard to get back in there. I'm afraid I'm going to end up having to make that hole bigger, though. Where's that other one? Yeah. So I could get a screw in there, and then that other one ain't even going to try to line up. So what I'm going to have to do is find a drill that's big enough but not too big and make that hole bigger. I think I will. That was already loose. Drop the screwdriver with the screw on it. Maybe it went in my shoe because I felt the screwdriver land in my shoe before it hit the ground. God. Well, as much as I hate leaving a screw out, it's looking better and better every second doing that. Well, it didn't go in my shoe. Sometimes I get lucky and when I drop something and I feel it, you know, the screw will catch in your shoe. Well, that's blinding me. But I figure it's the second time I've dropped one of these screws today. I don't see it again. Where's my magnetic screwdriver? Sometimes they bounce far, sometimes they don't bounce too far. Ow! And again, it could have landed in the, I guess I just need to, well, I need to get to my tools, but sometimes you finally get a clue and you say, okay, let's close the lid to the toolbox. So if you're just going to keep on dropping stuff and you're working right over your toolbox, and maybe you ought to close the lid. Well, I think maybe it just went down there in the ground. Oh! I don't want to move all this stuff if I don't have to. Again, I can't find it. Last time I found it when I moved the table. But there's no guarantee that it went. All the way to the ground. Looking in every place I think it could get hung. I know. Maybe you should just go with 2 screws and maybe it's a sign, huh? Oh, I'll be worried, you know. I mean, it's going to be sitting there spinning for years, and I'll be worried that it would work loose. You gotta be kidding. Oh, that corner hurts. Oh, that, well, it was a different corner, not the actual corner. Okay. Just go way far back in my chair and make sure it didn't go way up here somewhere. A lot of times they go back, you know, back under my chair where I wouldn't think they would go when I drop something. Okay, I don't know if I should move my table or look in the toolbox more or what. Forgotten about that screwdriver. I don't know that it's a good one for this, but it could be helpful. It's got a Phillips on one end and a, it's little, you know, and it's got a Phillips on one end and a slot head on the other. Usually if it does go in the toolbox and it's small like that, it goes down in the bottom. It goes right through the little bitty crack on the edge and goes down in the bottom. I'm looking in the tray though, because it fell that direction. You know, the screwdriver landed in my shoe and fell out. So I was hoping, figuring that it probably stayed on the screwdriver until it hit my shoe. Let me move enough stuff that I can move the table, and I've got that wiring. Good thing I noticed that. I'll just unplug it until I probably won't use it again here right away. I've only got 2 screws there. Let's try not to lose any more of them. Endoscope. Oh, I forgot. So, it's the wrong camera. That's where the table usually sits. I'm going to go ahead and move it and look before I give up. Last time I didn't want to do that, and it was right down there waiting for me to find it. But I don't think it is this time. The light, in case if you might be wondering what am I doing, the light on the magnifying glass makes, you know, shiny things like screws show up, and then I could even use the magnifying glass to make sure that's what I want to pick up. But no, I don't see it in the carpet. Oh. I've looked at my shoe several times, felt around in my shoe several times. Yeah, that was the shoe it went in. It's not in there. Both feet were close together. I checked the other one once already, but yeah. Okay, I think I have lost the battle of using 3 screws. I've dropped it twice. Looks like I really have lost it this time. This is not, you know, my machine. It's not like I can just remember and take it down and fix it later. This is my mom's, and it'll be in there, and once it's in there, it won't be long till I probably won't remember that this even happened, you know. I don't remember stuff too good anymore. Okay, so that's why everything I'm doing, trying to do it just perfect, you know. Because a lot of times when I'm, you know, if I drop a screw or something, I'll say, oh, I'll fix it later, you know. And then, of course, a few years later, you say, I don't remember doing that. Especially if something, you know, I'm always pretty careful. Okay, I'm going to quit looking. Dang it. It's aggravating, so I'll get out. Even when I do leave a screw out of something, it's usually not something that it would actually, you know, come apart without it. Can't remember that anything actually coming apart. I'm pretty, well, you might be able to tell I'm pretty picky and try to do things best I can. Yeah, here's that other screwdriver I was talking about. Okay, let's get the endoscope back on. I'll do the double right now. I'll do the single. Get all these things back. The ones I'm not using right now, I'll put them over there. I don't know. That's just an interesting screwdriver. But the thing is, you know, what do you do with the screwdriver? You put your hand on it like that and push and turn. Well, that's dangerous. So I really don't use it much at all. That's the way I hold my screwdrivers. Okay, let's see. Trying to get this in such a way that I can get a good shot of it again. I had a pretty good shot of it before. There we go. Now, guess where I had it was better. Okay, now, where's my little screws? Here they are. Okay, well, I got 2 left. Don't lose any more. Okay, I'm going to go to the straight close-up view. So that way I can use the endoscope to line it up. So I was able to line up. You gotta be kidding me. There it is. This thing, it had stuck to the magnet. It was on the bottom side. It was to this, and it's magnetized, you know. Magnets are in there. Either that or it had been laying in there the whole time. Is this magnetized? I don't know. It's not. That side doesn't have any magnetism. So it must have been laying in here this whole time. Well, good. Okay, so then I got to go back and do what I was planning. Make that hole a little bigger. So I will need to get one of those, get a drill. Okay. I think, well, these drills are sharper, some of them. Some of them have never been used. But they don't have the, if I'm going to drill an actual hole, I'm probably going to need the, you can use those ratchet screwdrivers as a drill. It's not very great, but you can do it. Okay, but the only thing is I probably need, the exact right size. So let's see if this one would be the exact right size. Let's see. This is the one I'm going to drill out because I know I can get those other 2s lined up. Well, here's what we need to know. That's too big. You just want it to be, you don't want it so big that it, actually I might want one that's small enough to, that's about the same size as that, maybe a little smaller. I'm gonna, okay, yeah, there we go. That goes through there. I may need a drill, you know, turn it on and put pressure downwards. Let's try it with the ratchet screwdriver first. I don't know if I can do that or not, but I can try it. I mean, a drill is really the only way I think I can do that. Yeah. Unless I can use it like a file. Since it's just plastic, I think I can. I kind of squeeze on that so that I'm not breaking it. Squeeze that fan together. Yeah, I think it's filing it. Guess I better look and see what's happening to it, hadn't I? Not much. I don't think it's going to do it. But I think this drill bit may work. Or is it? I think it's working. Okay, now here's the one I've been working on. Does it look elongated? I think it does. I'll try it a little longer. I think maybe it might be going to do it. How was I holding that? Like that. Because in the drill, if I put that in there, it's liable to hit those blades, and it's going to be pretty hard to hold it. Drill's going to grab and, you know, jerk it out of my hand. Could even break that tab off of there. It's slow going, but I think it's actually doing something to it. Because it's, I think it's actually doing it. Just a little more, and then I think I'll quit and try to line it up. It is elongated. Yeah, I've got all the way up to the edge of the, I don't know if I'll be able to show that, but I've got all the way up to the edge of the countersink that I did a while ago. Yeah, that should be enough. Dropping all my tools. Guess I'll just put this up here on the other side. Well, I didn't get an early start on this computer work, so it doesn't feel like I haven't done it very long today, but it's 8:37. I got up about 10 this morning. I didn't get up real early. But I finished up that recording tape, cassette tape digitizing remix today before I started this. Because it was, well, it was 5, I remember. I didn't start this till 5. So no wonder. Okay, so yeah, that's elongated, so I'm going to get those other two and hope that that one will line up. Because I was able to get them before, so. I guess I should bring this down a little closer so that it's actually more of a, hey, there we go. Now it's more of an, I can see better. It's not, well, it's at a bit of an angle coming down, but that's actually good because then I can get to it to work. My screwdrivers won't be able to go where they need to if I don't have it like that. Okay, now first I need to get me a screw ready. Well, that's pretty neat that I didn't lose that. I think these are pretty good. I can actually lay the screwdriver down. If I can get, yeah, there we go. And hold it in place. And jerked when I drop my pointer, my locator pin. I think it worked. Yep. Okay, now I can. Oh, I don't know why I didn't think to do that earlier. I was thinking about being able to see the whole fan. You know, you can actually still see the whole thing. But, that's the one that's in there. This is the one I line up and put a screw in this time. Yeah. The other one, I don't know, maybe it'll make it, but I'm going to get this started first, because the last time I was actually able, oh, I forgot. I always forget to get a screw ready. Get both of them on there. Yeah, lay that down. I can't tell if that's it or not. Oh, there it is. I don't know. I don't think it'll go in there. I think it still misaligned too much. Well, it might. I think I might need to, I don't know, every time I think I can back those screws off a little bit, I'd get them all the way loose. I'm going to try to get that one started. Screws came off the screwdriver. Try it again. I don't know, maybe I should try the one that's, well, the one that's wallowed out, I think I better leave till last. I think I got it started. Yeah, it went. I'm going to leave it there because every time I back them off, matter of fact, I'm going to, well, I'll leave that, let's see. Every time I think they're still in there, they're actually loose. This one seems okay. About this one. I'm not going to back that one off if I don't have to. Let's see. If I turn it this way, maybe you can see it better. Maybe we can see it better, whether or not it's going to line up. Oh, yeah, okay. There. Oh, but I forgot to get the screw on there. I think it's going to line up. Is it still lined up? Yeah. Hit it. Now let's see. Did I get it to? Yeah. It feels like it's not even getting started, and it's all the way to the bottom. But I think I got them. See, this one was the one that was loose a little bit. See, I'll get these two tight, and then the one that's wallowed out, I'll finish tightening it. With these soft screws, you want to give some pressure to make sure you're not just wallering their heads out. I want them tight, but I don't want to. I already know that that other screwdriver doesn't get it. Well, let's try it anyway. It might go down in there further. I think it might be a tiny bit smaller. No, doesn't grab as good. think I've got it, but I'm trying to just make sure. I don't want to overdo it and break anything, but it's so tough to get in the head of those screws and tell that that's in them. You can miss them and there. Okay, I believe they're done. Now, that's what it took to put that little fan in there. What a pain in the butt. But if it lasts, looks good and lasts a long time. I kind of like the clear fans. I think they look cool. But oh look, I guess see that one? Oh, I thought it was notched a little bit. That one looks a little bit. Oh, a bunch of them are, so no. I was going to say, did I do that with my drill? Well, I could have, because I could have moved, you know, by accident, whenever I was. I bet I did that little bit of notching. I don't know. I didn't do that many. No, they're kind of that way, kind of curved. The ones that had, like that one with a bit of notch in it, those two, I bet I did do that with the drill when I was watering that out, filing that out. So, with plastic, you can use a drill bit as a file if it's fairly sharp. The edge of that's pretty sharp. But I just had it in that. Just held it just good enough, you know. Where's the bottle? Okay. Now, I need to plug this up again. So I'll just leave it to where it can be seen while I'm doing it. Is that all in good shape? Yeah. Just lays down in there. That's all there is to that. I'm going to put it up that way so that it won't be going down, you know, getting in the way when you go to plug it in. And I do believe I'm going to want I think those other needle nose might hold that. Well, let's try these. They're smaller and might be more easy to get a hold of that tiny thing. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Go. And there's a oops, last time I kind of got it started, and then see there's this it's not the same exact size as the original, but it does have that, so to tell you which way to turn it, so it's unless of course it was made wrong. Get this flathead screwdriver, make sure it's pushed down and go all the way. Okay, yeah. See, there's a little gap on both sides. I showed that in the previous video. It's quite a bit smaller than the... I don't really want that, like, touching those things anyway. They might get hot. I just didn't want it sticking out real far. It'll find its place in the world as it gets warm, everything gets warmed up. There we go. Yeah, there's not any I looked at that before. There's a little too much light. I tried to look at it, but I didn't try really hard. But there's not any markings that'll tell you, you know, the voltage or the polarity of those pins or anything. I think that's them right there. I'm not completely sure. But I'll turn that light all the way out and see if you can see anything that way. Oh, I'm losing my spot there. Still can't see. But you can see without the reflection, you can see that there's no markings for, you know, polarity or anything. Made in China, of course. it's funny. When I was young, I didn't like things. You know, growing up in the '60s, we had some great. We had good electronics, and America made lots of electronics. And I remember hearing, this is in NVidia, hearing when they sold the plans to a bunch of the plants and moved a couple of the plants over to Japan to build, you know, Magnavox. I don't know what brands, but we had Magnavox, we had Marantz, we had, and all the way up until the 70s, about the mid-70s, I think, when they started really doing that stuff. And nowadays, of course, everybody thinks the best electronics, you know, and electronic parts is Japan, and they're hard to get now. And they weren't hard to get when I was a kid. They were more expensive, and that's what happened, you know. Once they sent it over to Japan, Japan made good stuff. At the beginning, their stuff wasn't as good as American stuff, but then it got better and better. And now, of course, it's got the reputation of being the best electronics. That's what I gather, anyway. Anyway, that just strikes me anytime I really think about it, you know. But that's what this is. It's, you know, it's actually surprising that it makes it still, even though it's only 512 megabyte, it makes a real difference in how well the computer performs on the internet, because so much stuff uses your GPU on web pages and stuff. And it's not just flash, because I don't even install, well, Mom's old system had flash on it, but I'm not putting flash. I don't have it on my Firefox. The one that I use all the time, I don't have flash in it. I don't really miss it. Once in a while I run into something that says you need flash, but there's always another alternative. I just say, fine, I won't look at this page, you know. I won't watch a video on this page or whatever. So if it's a video, you know. If it's not a video, then I probably don't want it to run on my machine anyway, because it's probably either an annoying ad or something malicious, you know. Even though I don't run Windows, I still want to watch out for that kind of stuff, you know. Okay, so there's my. I didn't end up using my little tester there. It's pretty handy to have one of those. It's a simple little clip and a pointer. No. It's kind of like a fuse, but it looks like a car fuse. Old, I guess you'd have to say old-timey car fuse, glass fuse. But it's a light that lights up. They will burn out. I have another one. Actually, that's what this is. This is my old first one. It, well, the wire came, you know, broke, and I fixed it a few times, and finally I got tired of messing with it. And, well, once the light, that's aluminum foil. I stuck aluminum foil in there so that I could use it as a test lead. I could hook a wire on it and hook it up to a multimeter, and I could have a rope. Because I didn't have any pointy test leads I could poke into a wire jacket. I don't like to do that, but once in a while I'll do it. Or poke into a connector. I don't use it really anymore for that, but I stuck it. It's in my inside toolbox here, and I use it for mostly for what I was doing just now. But this one is, I don't know when I bought it, but I remembered the old one that I got back in the 70s, and I bought this one at some point in the last 15, 20 years, and it still works. I think I bought this one. You know what? I might have inherited this. This might have been my friend's dad. This is old design. I think maybe this one unplugs. Oh, and it breaks. That's not how it's supposed to come apart. There's the little, here's the little light up fuse. Can't really see the element in there, but it's not just a fuse. It lights up and it doesn't burn out. I didn't mean to take it all apart and mess it up, but you could put a fuse in it and it would work, but it won't light up anymore. That, I thought that screwed on. It does. And I just yanked it all the way off of there. But yeah, that old, I remember this from at least in the 70s, this plastic kind of thing there. Well, at least it's not completely broke. That's supposed to plug and unplug, but it's too tight. Oh well, as long as it's not broke, I'm happy. Anyway, I keep thinking I need to fix this one again, but because now I know, you know, I never knew where to buy one of those things. I couldn't find one, and maybe I found one at Radio Shack, but they probably wanted $5 or $10 for it. And the whole thing didn't cost $3 or $4, you know, in the first place. Probably $1.99. And so anyway, okay, we need to put this back in the machine. So I'll have to move my work table back over. I'm going to hit my reload on my preview over there. And let's see. Let's get this up off of the... Oh, man, I'm getting sore. There we go. Okay, so I'll get all my tools. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I'll put them... These little bitty screwdrivers I won't be using for any what I'm fixing to do. I'll put them back in the toolbox. Just for one reason, because I don't have a better place to put them. Any space to put them anywhere else. But the main reason is because that's the best place for them, because then you will always be able to find them. I don't know where's the best place to keep that funky screwdriver. Oh, I'm about to misplace my... I have, you know, I want to make sure this tip is where it should be. Put my drills up. Let's see, put this stuff back. Trying to figure out where to set things while I'm doing all this. I think it's way past time for me to have another allergy pill. Okay. There it is. Yeah. I moved that just, I thought I was completely done. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just putting stuff up back together so I don't lose any of it. That one is just free. It's not part of the original kit. I had a few of these before. These are they're not real. You know, you can't do any serious grinding with them, but they're pretty handy to have for smaller jobs. Like with metal, you can do deburring, and you know, like if you have a countersink hole, you can smooth it up, or just, you know, like get the burrs off of freshly drilled holes with them real quick. And pretty handy. Okay, now that's garage tools. Let's see, this I usually keep in my multimeter box. Lately, I had it in several different places, and I'm always forgetting that I have it. So I try to find a place that'll I'll remember. Well, dadgummit, I'm trying to not. Where's those other wires? I'm gonna not put these up yet because it's gonna waste too much time right now. Just get them out of the way for right now. But I do have to rearrange stuff enough that I can get to my get to my computer to put it back over here and put the work table back over here. Get it on it. Okay. That'll work. I had everything all ready for me to hook up when I needed to, and then I had to move everything. Okay. I might want to hook up audio to it this time, so I'll get my audio cable out. And I unplugged my USB to my USB hard drive because I didn't want to wait for it to. I can't start doing I can't do this video stuff or anything with my Lucky Backup running. It uses too many resources, so I unplugged it so that it wouldn't run the backup. But now I think it would be a good idea to. My video never did load and play over there on the laptop. See if it'll work. Well, I'll reload it one more time before I might have to close the browser and open it back up. Maybe the machine's getting tired. Okay, now. Yeah, it's working now. I just need to get the sound going. And I think all I really need is that right there, right now. Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure I was still alive. Now, here's my video card. Let's see. So, I've had my old greasy hands on those leads so much. I've actually never seen a problem. Well, the thing you might get is, you know, your greasy hands would cause corrosion. But, I mean, I wasn't just handling them, but, let's see, yeah. Okay, let's put it on there. This one doesn't have a clip. It's kind of weird. Oh, it's the blue one that goes on. There we go. Of course, it has a screw to hold it down, but so let's get that. Get the screwdrivers. This case is kind of odd. I like the looks of the case, but that right there is very bad ergonomics. It doesn't. You can barely get that skinny screwdriver to get a hold of a screw and get it started. Then I have to finish it with that. Let's see. Oops. And then when you try to tighten down the screw, it wants to move over the. I think I got it. And you also have to watch that card. This particular. Well, I guess it's kind of the case. If it won't grab it good. If you don't watch out. Some screws, actually I might not have the best screw there. I can't remember. That's the one that's in there, been in there, because I used the same one. But some screws have kind of grabbing stuff like a built-in lock washer type of situation, and some of them are really slick. And I use my, let's go ahead and put my laptop, well, put it right there, I think. I use my box for my, get that endoscope over there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I use my box for my multimeter. What I was talking about there is that screw right there, and this is a slick one, and that's what's in there. And some of them have a corrugated. I don't know if I've already went through this a bunch of times or not with this thing, but some of them have a I want to dump screws in there, so I'm not gonna. There's one right there. I'm gonna try one of those. They grab. Where's the? Yeah, they grab. Because that is not making me happy. It just wants to slip all the way off the end of that. Wants to slip all the way off the end of that. Now my camera's in the way. Let's just get it off of there. I just wanted to show that. This is a better view anyway for just general stuff. You can lock this thing. Well, I can't seem to hit the lock, so I'll just, I either go on or off every time I switch it. I'll just leave that right there for now. But, where's that other screwdriver? Now, see if this one will grab it better. I don't know if I've already decided it wasn't a good one to use or what. There. But you don't want it all the way over. That's the thing. Normally with these things you want your all the way in the slot of the, but if you do that, it moves it over so far to the wrong place that the HDMI is covered up by the slot that it's going through. Yeah, I think that'll hold better because it's way out on the edges. I'll get the little camera and show you. If I'm going to tell details, I might as well show them. There we go. Now what I was talking about was right there. Yeah, see there? So the one with the grabbers on it, I'm more likely to keep not let go of it because that is right in the center. See, now I could have had it off for a little bit. It fights you and it doesn't want to go where you want it to, but you don't want it so far that you can't get the. Oh, I better go back some because then you won't be able to plug in the VGA. You kind of got to fight with it to get it to where it'll line up. It's just a fault in the case, I think. I think it's got anything to do with the video card in this case. So anyway, that's what I was talking about. And I like the case pretty much every other way, but that one thing is pretty aggravating. There, finally got it locked because you kind of need it. Just a regular screwdriver to get this going the way you want it to. I have to knock those screws off of there. Yeah, you don't want the VGA to where you can't get anything on it. And see, when you turn the screw, it always wants to move it. Oh, I guess that's why I'm not using that, because the grabber will not let you put it where you want to. I went through this before, I'm sure. Okay. So the one with the grabber won't, it seems like the logical one, but it won't work. This one here is the one that works. It's the one I had on there. But you don't usually have to work this hard to get these things in and in the right place. You got to kind of fight its tendency to move over. If you start all the way at the end of the slot, there, I think I might have got it. And then then it'll end up, if you're lucky. Yeah. Now the VGA is pretty well centered. There's at least enough space. It's really not as far over as I want it. Maybe if I tighten on it just a hair more. Sometimes it gets to the spot where it won't move. It won't move anymore. There. Yeah, that's still where it was. I'm gonna have to. Banging on that's not a good idea, and I don't think I'll do it again. But if you, I'll try loosening it up. If I loosen it up and tighten it again, it'll go all over the place. I remember this. So I got 2 of these cases. Shoot. I guess I shouldn't tighten it as much and then give it a little tap. Yeah, I think I got it that time. Yeah. And make sure that the, because there's a, usually your VGA or your DVIs are probably going to, oh, the bottom moves a lot. Okay. But the VGA, it's pretty much in place once you screw the screw down. You won't be able to get the connector all the way in, you know. It'll hit the case. So that's why I'm going to such fussy pains to get this. Okay, now, so I want to put the door on it. Yeah, I guess I'll wait and I'll turn it on just like this first before I put the door on it. So let's hook everything up. And turn it on, laying down, and we'll look at it. And then hopefully we will not have to fuss with it anymore because it's fixed. Got to look at these pins. They get bent. Actually, I remember the other day I got one of these VGA connectors that I don't use anymore because it's just I think the wire inside the cable broke enough that it, you know, you wiggle it, you wiggle it one way and it loses connection, you wiggle it another way, colors change, and wiggle it the other way and it works. And so, but my other machine that has a case like this, I actually use the DVI on it, so I'm trying to reload my preview again because I accidentally yanked on my mic cable. To make sure I didn't mess anything up. I got hung on the case a while ago. But oh, somebody I know actually said hello to me on the chat. I don't know when it was. Hey Kelly, I don't know if you're still there. You probably were there a long time ago. I've been so busy working, I didn't even notice. Let me answer her before I go off. I won't try to do it on the laptop, I don't think. No, because maybe it'd be better than taking time to open up the web browser. Get this wireless keyboard here. If I can see enough to do it. I don't see that much of the screen. Oh, yeah, it says see you later. She probably was there at least long enough to see if I'd answer, and then There we go. There we go. Okay, so first time anybody's said anything on here in a long time. One of these videos, I do them all the time, you know. But anyway, it's when you least expect it. I was wondering if I have the laptop running, you know, so that I can look up there and see if anybody said anything in that chat. But you know, when you're doing this actual work, I just can't always look at that, you know. I don't even think about it half the time. Okay. I always do think about, well, that's the thing, when I think about, you know, checking my stream, let's see. Yeah, okay, it was still working, I remember now. When I, you know, check my stream, I can see that, so if I'm paying any attention whatsoever, which obviously I don't know. That's the thing, it doesn't say the time on there, so you don't know when somebody said something to you. So, anyway. Okay, there's the VGA. Sound, I'm going to go ahead and plug it into this time. Let's see, sound. Yeah, green. Oh, I knew it would make noise. Green for sound out. Lucky this one is at least within the normal color codes. Power. And on network, go ahead and plug it into. Last time the network didn't work at all. It wouldn't even work on the. Oh, it didn't boot. That's right. It wouldn't boot to the. It wouldn't boot to my. I think my SD card, my easy to boot SD card might have needs to be worked on. I think it said the files weren't contiguous. Once when I was trying to boot it, it's funny. I was trying to use Super Grub Disk to boot up to my Fedora 14 drive that's in there, and it said that drive wasn't contiguous, but it seemed to it took so long. It said it was scanning the file system. I think it was that one. It was hard to tell which one it was talking about. Finally, I got tired of waiting. Anyway, I didn't let it finish. So, but it wouldn't boot Parted Magic, and the last time I used it, it worked perfectly in Parted Magic, and it's on this machine, I think. Well, but it wasn't. That's right. It really wasn't this machine because it wasn't an 8-core with 8 gig of RAM. It was a 2-core with 2 gig of RAM. Now we got an 8-core with 8 gig of RAM. Let's make sure everything's still good there. All the wiring's in a good place so that it doesn't cause any trouble. Yes, the one hard drive is, well, this is the old hard drive. It's got Fedora 14 and Linux Mint 9. I did boot that. I found that with that Super Grub Disk did. This is the new Fedora 27, but it was installed on the dual core. I was testing it out, and then I decided, you know, it wasn't going to run as good as I wanted it to for Mom to last for several years. So, like, you know, I want it to be good for 5-10 years, you know. And so I thought it's worth it to spend $180 to go ahead and, because I already had the motherboard, and I had bought this fan, you know, thinking that was what was wrong with the other one, but it was this fan. Finally found out, and so all I had to do is buy the memory and the processor. $100 for the 8-core CPU, and $70 or $75 for the 8 gig of memory, and that's got it maxed out. That's all it can handle. All the motherboard will support. So, whoops, wrong button. Oh, I gotta switch over anyway. I gotta switch to the other. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that for now. Do something else later. Right now, I just want to boot it up and see that I'm just interested in the fans right now. Should be no noise. Yep. Of course, the other one would be quiet for about 5 or 10 minutes. But it should be fine. It's brand new. And of course, well, I was going to say I tested it, but the one that makes noise doesn't make noise on the test bench. Just makes noise in the machine. But the fan's working. Spinning. I'm not going to stick my finger in this one. I'll cut my fingers up on that other one. Okay, so if you hit the blades, well, that other one had super sharp blades. I cut myself the other day on it. I got a cut that's just now healing up on this finger from just fiddling around with it the other day. It wasn't even turned on. That's a nice fan. I like that. That's only $10 for that big old CPU cooler and fan. And it's shock mounted, so even if it got too old to start vibrating, it shouldn't make a lot of noise, I wouldn't think. And then I like these big fans. They're not as, they don't move as, you don't feel the air as much, but they move more volume of air. You can actually tell a difference in how much they cool the machine, I think. Yeah, because I put one in other machines, not just, I mean, this one has got the door fan and all, and this fan, you know. That was all it had for the box, was this fan and the door fan, which is not on there right now. Let's see. I don't know. I think I want to just shut it back down. I'm going to shut it back down, put the door on it, and then boot it up and fiddle with it and do all that kind of stuff. Getting kind of a little bit tired now. I'll probably have to quit before too long, but I'll go ahead and get the door fan on it, get it standing up in its normal position, because that's when it actually, you know, the way it's going to be ran, and that's the way that it was making noise. Oh, still wants to know if I really want to shut down. But I think it's going to be all right. Now, and her old hard drive is coming out once I want to make an image of it. I was going to put it, I was going to dual boot this, have it set up for dual boot with, this is a 2 terabyte hard drive. And I had it divided in 3 partitions, and I was going to put Fedora 27, Fedora 14, and backup. But now I'm just going to do Fedora 27 and backup, because Fedora 14 is not going to, it may run, but it ain't going to be any use on an 8-core machine. I don't think it'll even see the, that Mint 9 wouldn't even see all the RAM, and Fedora 14 may not either, because I think it's, I don't remember if it's 64-bit, it'd probably see it, but that Mint 9 was 32-bit, and it didn't see it all. As soon as it gets shut down, what did I do with my... Get my door, be ready. Shuts down slow. But since it shuts down, I'll go ahead and put the door in there. I think I'll leave it on this view, I mean, well, for me, I mean on the KVM switch, until I'm sure it's all shut down. You know, the last time I booted this thing up, it took so long to shut down, I got tired of waiting. Let me see if I can get to the terminal window and see what it's doing. Stopping the firewall. 1 minute, 58 seconds. Why is it taking forever to shut down the firewall? I think it did that last time. Well, I'm gonna, my glasses are on my nose has got so greasy that they're slipping around, so I'm gonna clean, and I think I'm beginning to see junk in my glasses, you know, like smear looking things. I have the worst time. I guess I should be used to them now, but I've been wearing these dollar store glasses for years. Probably 10 years now, but they still drive me crazy. I don't like looking through them, but I have to. Okay, so I'm gonna clean them while I'm waiting. If it don't shut down, then wait, did it no, it's still trying to shut down the firewall. There's something odd. It must be. I don't know why it would just. I mean, why would the firewall? It'll run. There it goes. It's starting to shut down now. It runs fine, but because this is the Fedora 27 that was installed on the dual core and 2 gig of RAM. But I don't see why the firewall would be the thing that takes forever to shut down on a different system, basically. Same box, different motherboard, different processor, different RAM. Really is a different system altogether. Let's see, is there anything? The only thing that's left over from the old system now is the box and the video card. And even though it's only a 512 megabyte, it makes a real difference. And since she doesn't even really hardly watch videos or anything, I think it'll be just fine for her. What she does on the computer, mostly shopping and some, you know, word processing and stuff. Yeah, I remember that. It got reached target system shutdown, and it sat there a while, and then finally I said, I don't want to wait anymore. It's not like I'm worried. It probably, very small chance it would hurt the operating system, yeah, but I'm going to reformat it anyway. So what I was wondering though is, I thought I reloaded my preview. But you know, that cough is surely loud whenever I have this mic on. It's not near as loud. Well, I can turn my head away from the SM58, but it also doesn't pick it up as loud. Okay, so I'm just going to hard shut it down. Wouldn't you know it? Okay. I'm going to have to take an allergy pill. I meant to do that a while ago when I noticed I was getting worse. But I'm just going to get worse to the point that I can't even speak. Okay. I have to have the windows open. You get too hot in here. Luckily, it's cool enough outside that it helps. Still 79.2 in here, though. Okay. Let me get off of the machine now until I'm ready to. Next time when I boot it up, I'll probably, you know, boot it up, get on remote desktop and stuff, or, well, I might move this camera. I don't know, I'm not going to keep working tonight too much longer because I'm tired and hungry now. But, you know, I either want to be able to do remote desktop or put the camera, at least put the camera at the monitor. Get that hooked up. These are the two, there's just two in there, but they move around in that. It's a really loose, they don't stay tight in the connector. So it's really there. Get it just right and it'll go right in. Otherwise it's a pain. Okay. Ready to button it up. I think. I haven't heard the little beeper, and I haven't tried. I'm going to try the CD drive. I was saying Party Magic wouldn't run on my SD card and the USB adapter the last time I tried it. Oh, you want to keep that away from there. That's the tricky part, is where do you put these? Keep them away from that, all the fans. I think that'll do. With this long cable, you want to make sure you keep it away from that one as well as the others. I think that was a good place to put it. But you don't want this one ending up draping. Once you stand it up, you know, you don't want it to drape into a fan. So, I think I got it. Now, that's right where you can't work. That laptop. Okay. There we go. There. These don't really have to be super tight. Okay, now I think I can stand it up now. Oh, that network still doesn't look like it's going to work. I think that the light's yellow, and I think I'm sure that something didn't happen to that network, you know, adapter. I mean, that means there's one or two things. Either the IP is just locked. It's trying to. Let's see, what was the last thing I had plugged in there? I really don't know. But usually a reboot of the, from the D-Link, a reboot of the router usually straightens that right up. And it's been rebooted several times since the last time I plugged it in there. But it's yellow instead of green, and usually they're green even when the machine's off. Well, I'll have to I imagine it won't work. We'll see. Now let's get off this view here. Huh, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I should do with the camera. Okay, I think I will go ahead and put it behind me like I usually do to show the monitor, and I don't know, let's see. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I may end up having to do more actual work on this thing, but I don't know what's I'm going to be doing right now. I mean, not sure. This lined up here. Oh. Okay. Should be able to do it fairly fast. Go ahead and get the power. I can't really leave them running without power. They run down too fast. When they're streaming, they're using some power. Don't plug it in until I get it all in place. Doesn't need to be that high. I put it up really high whenever, you know, so that I can aim it down at the, that's probably about right. I think I probably had it good and then I messed it up. If I got it up high enough, I can pretty well have it even. Okay, now I can actually switch to my other mic too. Oh my god, an itch. Okay, so if I go to camera 2, then all I have to do is zoom in and get my head out of there. And the way I do that is on the web browser. Taking a while to open up. Of course, it would do it after I give up. I can go desktop and cam 2. There we go. Okay, Now you can see what I'm doing. Oh, I didn't switch mics yet, did I? Came to a desktop. Okay, now it should be back on the SM58. Yep. And get that zoomed in there so I can, show when it's booting up. Can't see it good, but you can see it. It's about as close as I can get. I'm not going to go re-aim that again. I did a pretty good guess. So leave it right there. Okay. Now that'll let you see what's going on. And the desktop will just show once, everything else that I'm doing. All right. Now, let's see. Confused here. Let's go ahead and boot it up. Oh, I got to be on it to control it or anything until I get TeamViewer or something opened up. Let me grab that CD I was talking about. Let's see. I'm over there on it, so and I'm on the SM58, so I won't be able to talk to you until I get back from putting that CD in there. First, I gotta find the right one. I got my little CD book here. Parted Magic 5.9. Oh. I guess that's the only one I've actually got. Well, I might have it on one of those multi-CDs or something. Let's see, I'm looking at them right now. Oh, that's 5.2. So I think the newest one I have on CD is 5.9. I think I have 6 on my other deal, but that'll be fine. Figure out where to put stuff here. Close my toolbox, I can set it on there. Mine has there's a root password on I've got it written down there. Root password for Parted Magic 5.9. Looking at the Ethernet light, but I finally decided I'd quit sitting there looking at it. Oh, it didn't get it. Okay. I got it in there, but it wasn't in time. I may have to go into the BIOS. I shouldn't, but I might. We'll see. It should just boot straight to a CD. Unless, of course, this one's not being seen by that driver or something. I think I just didn't get it in there quick enough before it got into the Fedora boot menu. And Okay, I finally remembered I had my preview plan. Oh, it did it again. Uh-oh, I didn't catch it in time either. Okay, so what I really wanted to do was run some of the testing, the benchmark tool that's in part of Magic. That's why I wanted to get in there. Boot. Oh, they're in the wrong order, that's why. Okay, CD, hard drive. That's what it was. It wasn't set right for some reason. Let's look in there. I don't know. You know, this is all for the old machine. Boot failure God. OC tweaker is where you can do the, yeah, see, auto on the CPU frequency. I haven't done anything on the, at all, changed anything, but I will try voltage change auto. There's something in here that's like, I thought it said something about auto overclocking. OC tweaker, I guess that's it. But I will, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Right now I want it on auto. Just the basic stuff. Cool and quiet is disabled. I guess I wanted it to be cooling the most. CPU thermal throttle is enabled. Well, I'll leave that for safety. LAN, enable, auto. Suspend RAM, auto. Power off, okay. If they lose power. Yeah, that's good. IDE, SATA. Oh yeah, there's no IDEs in it. CD-ROM. Okay, hard disk. Yeah. Two terabyte, okay, and then 250 gigabyte, that's her old drive, okay. No floppy in the machine at all. Onboard floppy controller enabled. You don't have a floppy. Okay. Hope that doesn't mess something up. You know, some machines you gotta leave stuff on or it won't work, even though it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna leave. It's been working fine, leave it alone. It was one machine the other day I had to turn that off. I don't think it was this one. Oh, USB keyboard power on. No, we don't want that, but we want all the USB support. InstaFlash, that's for the BIOS. Hardware monitor. Well, right now it's already at 123 degrees. Motherboard, 100 degrees. Motherboard, yeah, motherboard. MB motherboard. CPU, 129. Fan speed, 2,311. Chassis fan, 1,548. V-Core 1.336. 3.3 volt is 3.408. 5 volt is 5.064. 12 volt is 12.460. Target temperature 122 degrees. Target fan speed 5. How do you change the target temperature? I'm sure that's the defaults. Okay. It's going to be warmer though. That's the thing. Goes up. Well, since it's just now running and it's 129, let's say 129. Yeah. Target temperature 129. Yes, yes. Okay. Now, if it's not under load, it hadn't been running, you know, 2 minutes, you know, that ought to be good. And we'll see how it does.
That's just whether the fan, you know, like if the fans run faster or slower. I don't think they would ever shut off. So, yeah, that's, whoops, I'm not wanting to get out of there. Okay. Yeah, DVD and then hard drives. Yeah, 2 hard drives. Oh, okay, there's the order of the hard drive. And I already know it boots to the other drive, I mean to the new drive, so. Security, okay. Save changes and exit. Okay. Now, now it'll see our. I might have had that CD drive set as second so that she wouldn't. She really didn't ever put any CD drives in it, but you know sometimes CD drives machines will hang up wanting to boot to the CD even if there's not. Well, sometimes some particular CDs have something that will make it stop, even though they're not boot CDs. Is what I'm trying to say. There we go. I don't think this one's going to have 64-bit. Damn it. Yeah, this doesn't say anything about 32 and 64, so I don't think it's going to support 64-bit. Okay, let's just try it anyway. Yeah. Try it and see. It won't show anything right. It won't make a good test because, oh, look at all the little penguins. It won't make a good test if it won't do 64-bit because you're not even see all the RAM. It'll load the whole thing into RAM, which of course is no problem with 8 gig. I mean, it'll run on 300. I think 314, 15 megabytes is what is a general needed amount, and if it's less than that, then there's another one you could pick there. Let me get up there and look at that. I still don't understand why. I thought that the reason that let me look at Ethernet. Well, it's still yellow, but I don't know. I haven't looked at it in so long. I don't know if it's supposed to be yellow all the time. Usually it's green when it's good and yellow when there's like it's connected but it's not working right, you know. Or yellow or red or not. Popped out the CD. Going nuts trying to figure out where to put it. Okay, so this is the System Profiler benchmark app. Let's see what it shows in there. Okay, 8300 processor, memory 336 megabytes. It's only seeing half of it. That's what I thought. So there's no point in running my benchmarks or anything. It won't be accurate. I'm gonna have to either put that newer Parted Magic on something else, or fix my other thing that wouldn't boot the other day. And there's another thing I saw. I don't know if this one has it or not. Let's look. It was pretty cool. It showed the temperatures and everything. I never remembered it was in there. Another little, I don't know where I found it. I don't remember. Might not be on this version. It might just be on the newer version. But it was telling you the temperature and all kinds of stuff of the machine while you're in the operating system instead of just in BIOS, you know. But at least I just got through looking at that. One thing about Parted Magic, the font is so small, and I don't even know if you can change it, but you can't read. I can't read any of this stuff, really. So tiny. That's cool. Runs just fine on it, but reboot. It runs just fine on it, but it's of no use. in this on that CD, the one on the CD. Now the other, the 64-bit. Got my fans up there still. Yeah, the 64-bit one, I used it the other day on this machine, I think. Yeah, on this machine before I put all the new hardware in it. So, yeah, if I'd have realized I wasn't going to take this long. See, I thought I was going to boot up and turn on the remote desktop. That's why I left the desktop showing over there. Kind of had a feeling when I did it that it wasn't time to do that yet. Well, I could have just showed just the monitor. Would have been better. It would have been bigger. You could have seen, might even been able to read some of what I was talking about there. Anyway, can't be perfect all the time, can you? I haven't been perfect today, not for 1 second. Can't believe how much trouble I had. I got something gooey on my arm. Oh, I know what that is. That's tape. My wonderful place where I put my mouse, my little cabinet with slide-out shelves that I built to go under the desk. My chair has metal arms on it, and it just rides. When I turn, it rides on the trim, you know, the front style on this thing, and it just brings up splinters like crazy. And so I put tape on it because I just hadn't, you know, just as a quick way to stop that from getting me. But it wears through the tape in like a couple of weeks. I don't know, I must be hitting it more now than ever, because the first one I put on there was on there for years. This one's already out, mostly coming off, and I just put it on there just a couple of weeks ago. Well, the stupid thing is not rebooting. I'll hard shut it down. I don't know why it's. I hope there's not some kind of thing wrong that it doesn't. Why it doesn't want to reboot? I can't imagine. Probably just would do it if I just leave it alone. Yeah, I didn't get my. I can see in my previews. I didn't get my. Usually I get that. Well, if I just had centered that a little better, then I would have been in past my streaky hair there, where it's getting thin. Looking at my head, my balding head bobbing around in there, but oh well, such is life. This is kernel 4.15 so and so. I didn't see it all. But yeah, I don't like that. It's really weird and distracting just seeing a head bobbing around. And when it itches and I scratch it, you can see me. Okay, let's see what's coming up on the terminal window there. Once it gets booted up, I'll go ahead and start Parted Magic and kind of look around a little bit. I mean Parted Magic. I'll start TeamViewer and look around on the remote desktop a little bit, fiddle around. Then I'm going to quit for tonight. But I just wanted, I hadn't had it, I had it booted up already, but I didn't, the fan was making so much noise, I couldn't think of anything else but all that noise, and it was driving me nuts. And I was tired and ready to quit that day, too. Well, I did it. Well, I did it a pretty good while. I tried booting it. I kept trying to boot it to my Parted Magic on my SD card and all that stuff. I don't think the network's going to work. I don't get that. I guess I'll try. I have another. I can't reboot the router, but I shouldn't have to. It never makes me do that. I don't know. Maybe unless that cable's damaged. But I've got another one to another router I can plug in, and if it doesn't hook up, then I don't know. Well, I mean, what I was thinking is it just got the wrong driver for the other motherboard, which makes the most sense. But that's why I wanted to boot it to a live system and see if it worked. But I booted it to something, and it didn't work. What was it? Oh, I never did. I don't think I ever booted it up to a live system. So it still just made the wrong driver. But it'll just keep sitting there trying to connect. Okay, so so I can't do remote desktop. Right. So I'm going to switch the camera. Yeah, that was one of the things that happened the other day. Is I couldn't do remote desktop because of that. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm tired of my head being in there. Let me get up there and fix that. Okay, is that it? Still didn't quite get up. Oh, once I zoom in, it'll be gone. Okay, so let me get up. Well, I forgot to show my work, but oh well. Let me just do it. All I'm going to do is just zoom in a little more. Now that I got it centered better, I can zoom in closer. There. It's kind of crooked a little bit, but oh well. Normally I take a little more time, try to get it straighter, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay, now you should be seeing the monitor of the Fedora 27 on the mom's upgraded machine. Yeah, I can even install a different driver or do anything without networking. That would be, I hadn't had any trouble when that, my networking was fine on when it was, the ASRock motherboard was in the eMachines box. So yeah, it's got to be the drivers, but I can't just, delete whatever driver's in there and look for a new one or whatever. I mean, it'd be silly to work that hard on a system that's going to be reformatted anyway, but, yeah, I can just look at, got the one app for the system information, which I went through last time. But see, memory, 7.8 gigabytes. AMD FX 8300. Yeah, it's about time to quit, isn't it? So, okay, so I'm still working over there. I was checking my stream. I took that pill, and it usually does make me drain before it dries me up. It's got to have the bad before you can have the good, I guess. So there's all 8 CPU cores and 705.2 megabytes of 7.8 gigabytes. This does have a 256 megabyte video chip on board. It's going to take up part of the memory. You probably would have a little more, like 7.9 or a little more than that, showing. But it's all great except for the Ethernet, which I'm pretty sure is just a driver issue. But that's one reason why I wanted to boot up to some other live system. But I wanted to use Part of Magic because it has that hardware testing stuff in it, hardware benchmarking stuff. But the file systems. But anyway, everything looks good other than the network not working, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I don't think there's much, especially since I'm tired. There's no point in me dragging out that other Ethernet cable just to see if it would work, because really would be kind of unexpected for it to work, because this is a different. I'm sure it's a different. It may be they may both be Realtek Ethernet chips, but they're going to be different models because they're different, at least a couple of years apart in age, and different brands of motherboards and stuff. So, Oh, I had tried to get it to boot to Fedora 14 for fun, and I didn't have the. Oh yeah, what did I do with that thing? The thing that I was trying to find, I didn't actually have it on my USB stick. I'm gonna put this password back on this CD so I won't lose it. There it is, Plop Linux. Oh, how come that's... Where's the other one? I had, I thought I had I didn't think that was Plop Linux that was in there with it, but that's what I was trying to... Actually, Plop Linux is a whole operating system, but it's i486. I don't really want to play with the Fedora 14 right now anyway, but that would, it also, I believe that I can use that boot menu, that plop boot menu, that would find anything. Yeah, I think so. But what I'd really want is something that's there. Fedora, oh, that's Fedora 23 server install. Fedora 16, but that would have a 64-bit. All the domains I have are install CDs, I think. Yeah. Most of my CDs are pretty old because I got to where I just use USB, and now I'm using that SD card and the USB adapter. Well, there's Fedora 19 Gamer. What did I say that was? Fedora 16? Yeah. Okay. So, actually, Fedora 19 is a new... Two years newer than that. Oh, that's i686 32-bit. That Fedora 16 I don't know what version it is. Let's see if it says. If it's not 64-bit, there's no point in booting to it. It's probably not. Kind of, yeah, there's a note on there says boot live and install, good for rescue, mount Fedora LVMs, run and install apps. You can run and install apps in a live Fedora system, you know, especially Fedora, and you can do it in the Bane too, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. Oh, I know what I did, and that's the thing I've just remembered, and that's what got me kind of worrying. I booted it to my Fedora 27 USB stick that I installed from, and it still didn't get on the internet. So I'm going to try that again before I quit. Plugged it in the front this time. I wanted to make sure that all my wiring was good and that it was going to work. Now I'm going to reboot and let it boot up to that. Now on the live system, it should work. You know, the Ethernet should work. And I remember now the last time I had this running, and I was getting really tired and ready to quit, but I did that, and it didn't work. The Ethernet didn't work, and that's when I was like, what? And I thought, well, maybe the router just wasn't given the you know, it was locked to the other but it's actually the same motherboard it was being used on, though. That's what's funny, because that was the ASRock motherboard it was used on, that if I remember right, the last time I had it plugged into anything. Same motherboard, but different, you know, memory and processor. So it should be the same Ethernet chip. So that's what had me puzzled. Of course, cable could have broken side, you know, could be something wrong there. I wouldn't expect there to be anything suddenly wrong with the Ethernet adapter or anything, really. Is it going to reboot? It's doing that same thing again. Well, I'm going to hard shut it down again. Actually, I'm going to hit reset this time, just for... I usually don't even use reset, but it worked. I already know it works. I tried it before, but it's faster that way. So well, let's see if it'll automatically boot to USB. Usually, sometimes it catches them and sometimes it doesn't automatically. Sometimes you have to go into BIOS to get it to do it. Didn't. This one boots pretty quick. It doesn't have a very long timeout. So I got to get into BIOS to tell it where that to boot to that USB stick. F2. Okay, boot. There we go. It's way down there. Now, USB, CD, and then hard drive. But it doesn't always stay that way. Sometimes it will. If you take out the USB and then put it back the next time, it may still be set that way and work, or it may not. It's really weird. Some of them are real good about the automatic recognizing, you know. This one's not all that good. Okay, start make live compos. Drinking my coffee like it's food, so I know I'm hungry. IO error, dev SR1. SR1. That's probably, I don't know, you see those a lot when you're booting on a live. Then it still works. And I know this already worked once to install. There it goes. But you evidently have to click login. It just sits there if you don't. You have to. I've already used this to install Fedora 27. The network's not working. Oh, boot image vim Linux crashed. Well, that's on the live system. Huh. I wonder if Fedora 27. I haven't put Fedora 27 on this motherboard. That could be one thing, but that was the lie. But see, the network's not working. I guess I could so usually you can unplug it and plug it back in, and this router will just work. So let me try that. I can't reboot it because it's the one I'm streaming with. You could try that. That'd be the first thing to try. Well, I'll just try the other cable first. Let me go get it and do it. Well, I put the other cable that goes to the other router in there. It's trying, but I unplugged the other one and plugged it back in once first. It didn't. It's doing the same thing. I do have at least one. I probably have a couple of network cards, regular PCI network cards. So, you know, at least I'll have a workaround, but that's really weird. I'll try another, like some other operating system. I may have to work on my multi-boot, my easy to boot, because it has all different ones on there. But okay, so it's not a wiring issue. You know, this is a different wire, different router. And I'm online, I'm streaming, so it's not my route, it's not my router. My D-Link. That was the D-Link that I had connected to first. The other one, I'm not sure. There's a tag on there, but I didn't even read it as to which router. I guess it says which router it goes to. I relabeled all that stuff lately, and I realized, well, don't label them by machine because you change that all the time. Label them to what router they go to and stuff. So, I was checking my stream again. That hangs up a lot of stuff. I mean, I can even do the install if that doesn't work. So the only thing I could think of is to put, one of my Ethernet cards in it, at least temporarily. But if somehow that motherboard, I can't see how the processor, I don't know, processor or the memory could actually cause that to quit working. I'll vaguely almost think I read that before, that some memory would cause Ethernet to not work. The thing is, this is gigabit Ethernet. I want it to work. I don't want to. The cards I have are 100 megabit, and it wouldn't matter for Mom. Actually, well, it would if I was copying files from her machine to in here, like for backing up and stuff. That would really matter. It would matter big time. So it could matter. It would really matter. But the main thing is, it's been working. It should work. And I mean, if the memory or the processor caused that, it'd be really weird. It's not something I would really expect. I'll have to, I guess I better do a little research too. Darn it. That's something I certainly didn't expect. And of course I could, I guess I better go ahead and do a reboot before I give up on the other router working. Oh, well, you actually disable networking and re-enable it will usually fix it. If everything's working like it should. Oh, I booted that up. Well, that's still the same network card, though. It doesn't matter what router you plug it into. And you can unplug them, plug them in. On Linux, usually if you unplug a network card, a network cable and plug another one back in, it usually most 99%, 95% of the time, it will just hook right back up. So it's an odd thing going on here. Unless it's something to do with, Fedora 27 was let's see, that was Fedora 26 that was on the ASRock, not Fedora 27, and it was working. So it's not working. I could put that hard drive just laying down here. I could put it in this machine. I thought about doing it for the heck of it. I could put it in here and see if it would work, if the network would work. But I don't know. I guess I'll do a little research before I just, if I have to, I will put up one of my network cards I have in it to get to where I can. Well, I don't want just some temporary fix, so I want it fixed. That's not, of all the things I thought might go wrong with putting this 8-core in this ASRock motherboard, this particular motherboard, that's not something I ever expected. Well, that don't work. I'm going to go back to the other cable, because that one has a broken clip, and you never know when it's going to stay in there. So I put the one going back to the D-Link in there again, and I don't think I'm sure it won't hook up, but yeah, I guess that's what I'll have to do first before I go any further, really, with reinstalling and all that stuff. I'm gonna ahead. Sometimes it'll sit there when you plug one in like that. It'll sit there trying forever, and it won't work. But if you disable and then re-enable networking, it'll hook up right away if it's gonna work. So I think that's all I want to do tonight. I keep wanting to click on different things, but without internet, I thought, well, let's look it up right quick, but you can't look it up. I got to do it on the other machine, but I'm tired, really, really tired now. So done enough today. So I'm tired of looking at that. I want to shut it down. I don't like looking at things that don't work. I guess I'll have to hard shut it down again. It'd probably just take forever to shut down. Let's see if it shuts down normally this time. Yeah, it's still taking a long time to try to shut down the firewall. And then, of course, before, what it would do is I'm just going to shut it down again. Oh, yeah, one of my main reasons to run it was to make sure the fan was okay. Well, it was nice and quiet, just like it should be. I mean, you can hear it. But it just sounds like a normal machine now. Let me get back on my machine. Oh, I really have had more roadblocks on this machine here. Guess I have them with everything. Okay, let's go back to the desktop here. Oh, I've forgotten left Crusader running, so this whole time it's been... Oh, it's not doing it. Now that's normal, okay? I'm making a video, but Crusader is not using up 25% of the CPU. 2%. That's what it usually does when it, or even none, when it's not being used for anything. So whatever was going wrong is okay now with that. That was weird. Hope it stays okay. I'll close it anyway because I don't want it right now. But okay, I want to let's see, ASRock. I'm going to do one search before I go on that. And I wanted to, again, I'm checking my stream there because I did a new switch. So I will. Okay, we're good. Okay, so I was trying to think, do I already have any searches I've done on I don't think I've ever searched on ASRock for anything like that. So, yeah, the number of the motherboard. That will, there we go. There it is right there in my recent searches. Try that. Well, I spelled Ethernet wrong, right? Okay, so here we go. Gigabit LAN card problem. Well, almost solved. Okay. Look at them. Maybe this is something that's happened before. I don't know. There's one of those. It says, "Will it work? Yes. Should you do it? No." Talking about the VRMs and all that stuff. Okay. Oh, it says it's only running 100 instead of 1,000. This just doesn't have anything about the only place AMD's on there is the top. I actually can't say for sure that mine ever worked in you know, anything more than 100. I don't think I ever found a way to test it. Well, this is all about a whole nother problem. Oh, and somebody instead of just talking about the problem, oh well, that's not a LAN card, that's a chip. Yeah, well, I'm sure that person probably knows that. People just want to be smart alecks instead of helping. Why do they waste their time typing to be a smart aleck? Don't you have a life or anything else to do? Trolls? Oh, no, I'll get trolls, right? Okay. Nothing about LAN on here. I know nobody watches my videos, and now some troll will find it and hear that one little spot, and then they'll call all the other trolls and they'll come and bother me. Well, at least somebody will be watching my videos, right? Maybe they'll learn something. Oh no, they know it all. We can't learn anything. Okay, so no LAN. Here we go. Oh, the BIOS. You don't suppose that got turned off somehow? I wouldn't, I went through the BIOS, but I didn't look at that. Let's see what. To my surprise, the BIOS. That's talking about an XP system there. That's a long time ago. I don't know if I didn't spell BIOS right. I didn't have my fingers in the right place. ACPI problem. I'm looking up above there. So it looks like an ACPI problem. Let's see. Well, I think I should go look in the BIOS. Now I want to go check that. Make sure that's not what it is. I guess I'll just already. I don't know that much of this is actually going to be helpful to me, but I'm going to. It's usually good to save searches. Okay, let's see. What do I do? Just go back. I'm going to go to the camera. Oh, I got to switch. I got to switch first. Go to the camera to. There we go. Now I can. Keep having to move my mic and get my long stick. Then I don't have to do that all the time. I didn't think I was going to keep doing this. Now I'm going to boot it up, get into BIOS, and see if the network. It seemed to me that some of the settings were changed from before. I don't know, maybe it went to some sort of default settings when it recognized a different motherboard and all that. Might be possible. So maybe that's turned off. That's all it was. That would be easy to fix. Okay. Yeah. Okay, nothing in there to set. Yeah, and it does see all the memory in BIOS. Of course it does. It was showing up in Fedora 27. AMD 64, 8300. Let's see. Boot failure guard. I don't think CPU spread spectrum. All cores. Yep. Oh, okay. Turbo. AMD Turbo. Auto. AMD APM. Yeah, most of all this stuff's on auto is where I want to leave it for now, especially. Oh, yeah, you got memory voltage you can do too. That's all on auto. Okay, this is I just wasn't looking close enough in the OC tweaker. I guess I forgot to page all the way to the bottom. One of the things. Advanced CPU. Well, let's just go. Let's go in each thing at one at a time and make sure I didn't miss anything. Secure virtual machine enabled. I don't know. Throttling. Let's see. Well, let's leave it because it could keep it from burning things up. Onboard LAN enabled. Disabled. Enabled. So it's enabled. That ain't it. Okay. HD audio. Auto. Okay. Front panel auto. Now, what if I had one of my wires plugged in wrong that could cause that? I don't know what it would be. You know, all the wiring I had to plug in for the front panel and stuff. That's what made me think of it. Shared memory auto. Yeah, that's the video. Graphics PCI, which is what I'm actually using. ACPI. Suspend RAM auto. Away mode. I don't have Windows Media Center. That's for Windows Media Center. Spin the RAM. Ready bit. I don't really know what that is, but power off. ACPI auto. Well, you could enable or disable. If anything, I'd probably disable it, but ACPI is like power management, I think. Let's turn it off for a minute just to see. storage. Went through all that. Latency timer, floppy configuration. I guess if I really expect it to work, I should probably put that USB back in there because it configures to, you know, the whatever. I mean, it's a live system. Okay, so when I reboot it, or when I boot it up, it will be on the live system and not on what's installed. Floppy A disabled, yeah. What was that other thing I saw about floppy that was enabled? Floppy controller, yeah. You know what? I'm going to disable it since I don't have a floppy in there. I don't think that would have anything to do with it, but of course changing two things, now I'll have two things. Serial port. All that should be automatic. Yeah. Doesn't say, usually there's a setting, you know, like auto or manual settings, but floppy controller I'm going to turn off. USB enabled. Okay. InstaFlash, that's for updating the BIOS. Now that's something I might want to do, is update the BIOS. It even says on their site, don't update it unless you're having problems, but right now I am having problems, so and I don't think I've ever updated the BIOS on this. So. Target temperature 129, it's 132 now. We'll see, it's been running for quite a while now. Hadn't been running under load yet, but so far so good. Very good. Motherboard temperature is the same. Hadn't changed a bit. Okay, boot device. See, it's not seeing a USB yet. Well, it hasn't been rebooted to try to see it yet. We'll see what happens. No security. Okay, so I changed two things. I turned off the APCI, APCI, and I turned off the floppy controller, which, well, it could have got turned on. And like I said, it seems to me some things might have been a little different from the way I had it before. We'll see. We'll let it boot up on that live again and see what happens. Print rec error, IO dev SR1. Well, I don't know what that's about, but that's, excuse me, that's the USB stick. SR1 would be. It'd be SDA, SDB for the hard drives. SRs used to be, well, SR1's, SR so-and-so is for the USBs, and I believe the CDs and DVD drives show that way too now. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Nope. Still a big old, oh, that's that kernel crash. It could be that kernel crash. This is why, excuse me, why it doesn't work. I really don't know quite why it would have a kernel crash. Sometimes on a live system you'll get that, and then once you install, it's all straightened out. But that kernel crash may be exactly why the Ethernet don't work. But it didn't crash. It's kind of weird because some kernel crashes, you know, everything still works. Sometimes if you keep running the system, it will, you know, act up or lock up. And sometimes it'll be just fine. But I haven't been looking in. Let's see what it says. Wired connection. I didn't try looking in the settings. It says 100 megabits, like they were talking about there. I don't think I need any security for wired connection. The inter-center bridging. For what? Proxy. I don't use proxy. Automatic DHCP. Automatic. I used to have trouble when anytime a system tried to use IPv6, I'd always have to turn it off. But it got to where it all works automatically. It's on automatically and it works automatically. If the router's sending one out, it'll get it, you know, and if it's not, it won't. I could turn it off just to see. Ignore. I'll hit save for now and just see. Disable and re-enable just to see. But I don't think so, because Fedora 27 should just do that, you know, IPv6 just fine. I guess that kernel it crashes every time I boot it up. It doesn't, but I don't get one on the one that's installed. I think I did the first time I booted up to it. Yeah, it's not going to work. Save that again. Automatic should be used to. When they first started coming out with IPv6, I was always having to turn it off. Oh, connected. I disconnected. I thought it said established, because usually that's what it says. It's been established. Okay. That's the way it should be, from what I see. Okay, so I'm going to reboot it and put the BIOS. So I'm going to leave the floppy turned off, but I'll turn that APCI back on. I don't think it's got a thing to do with it. Let's see what version of BIOS I have. I guess I better write that down, because I'm going to have to go on their website. I'm going to quit here in a minute. Like I said I was going to do 30, 40 minutes ago. I'm going to quit, and I guess I better hard shut it down. Get that USB back out of there, because that's going to take some work. I can see that. That's a puzzling, unexpected, disappointing kind of problem. But, you know, we'll figure something out here. Oh, turn it back on and get back into BIOS. But it seems to run wonderfully, you know, other than that right there. With the 8 core, the 8 gig of RAM, everything. And the big thing that they kept saying is, oh, it'll work, but it's going to overheat on you. Well, but they were saying they're only talking about overclocking on those forums, because that's what those are all about. Let's see. Where was that APCI? Yeah, it was in here, I think. There, ACPI. Oh, I thought I turned that off. Oh, is that what I did? I think I did that. Yeah, okay. Suspend to RAM, check ready bit. Well, I don't think that would have, I didn't do it right. HPET table. I don't even know what that is, but it's obviously got something to do with it all. I don't know what check ready bit means. I've always left that on every system. Never had. But since I saw it in that little form, of course, it's probably just somebody saying something that's not right. What I'm guessing. But so let's try it. This time I forgot. I already took that USB stick out because I thought I was done. I didn't expect to see that I'd actually not done what I thought I'd done. I got a feeling that it is something other than, at first I was just thinking it was a driver, because if it was a driver, then it should work on the live system. Let's go ahead and boot up. This is going to be the one that's on the hard drive. I won't really know though. I mean, I'm letting it boot up to this old system that was installed on the Core 2, Other different motherboard, different processor, different memory. So it's not a good way to figure it out. So I'll have to I forgot. I just went ahead and hit boot, let it boot up, and then I'd forgotten. But that power management, ACPI power management system, if it was telling the Ethernet card not to wake up or whatever, then that'd be a simple fix. Yeah, that's what I figured. Well, but I'm in this system and not the live one that would be most likely to work. So I'm going to go back into BIOS again, hit restart. Probably have to force it to. Yeah, it always sits there for a long time shutting down the firewall. Let's do the reset button again. I don't like to do that on a good operating system because sometimes you can damage them, especially Windows. But I think I may have actually. I don't know if I've ever damaged anything on Linux doing that. I don't really do it. But oh, F2. Did I already miss it? I think I might have already missed it. Yeah, but I sure did. Okay. I was looking over at something on my desk, not thinking. There we go. Okay, where was I? There. I'm going to put that back on automatic. Okay. Yeah, a lot of times that stuff will give explanations. Like right there, away mode in Windows Media Center Edition. Check ready bit. That's on. I think it sounds familiar. Like I remember because it's what is it? Ready bit, and it doesn't tell you what it is. So I don't know. I mean, a bit is usually bits and bytes. So what would be a ready bit? RTC alarm, power on. If your OS supports RTC power on feature, you may set to BIOS to let it handled by the OS. RTC alarm power on. Huh. I don't see. I just thought of, well, what about wake on LAN? What if there's something in the wake on LAN settings that's got it to sleep? RTC, real-time clock? Yeah, maybe. Maybe to power on at a certain time. I'm going to leave that one alone because I really don't know, and it's probably, well, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure whether things have been changed, you know, like automatically by the new motherboard and everything being there. It just saw that and it did that, you know. But let's see, what did I say? Wake on LAN. PCI. Latency timer. Well, I don't know about that. Master bus. Enable. It's probably okay. Disable. Super I/O configuration. Onboard floppy. Disabled. I'm going to leave that disabled because we don't have a floppy. I don't think it matters. I think it's been that way always and it never caused any trouble. Just as long as you have the floppy disabled, you know, the other one. Now, those addresses not saying anything about automatic or manual kind of worries me. That could be what's wrong, you know, that we got a conflict on the IOs there. But I don't see any way. Parallel port, ECP. I didn't pay attention to what they were, but no, there's no Ethernet in there. USB. Oh, there we go. Well, where's the version of the BIOS? Let's see. Forgot where it is. Hardware monitor, yeah. Boot. Security. See if there's anything in the OC tweaker about the Ethernet. I don't even see anything about Ethernet, not even Wake on LAN or anything. Usually you can turn that on and off, you know. That's where you can save your overclocking stuff if you were doing that. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing even to, well, the time and the date, that's all. Oh, LAN, yeah, enable, disable, okay, that's right. That's the only thing I see about the LAN. So far, everything on the front panel works. But yeah, I will have to think about that. Well, I don't know. Let's see. I'm thinking about writing down wiring. You wouldn't really think that anything you wired on those header pins for the front panel, you know, if you did do something wrong, it would have anything to do with Ethernet. But, that it would jack it up or anything. I don't know what you suspend. What do you suspend RAM? I guess that's like going to sleep, but it's handled by the BIOS instead of the operating system. That's one that kind of puzzles me as to whether I should change it. RTC power on. I think real-time clock, yeah. So that, I guess if you set something for it to power on at a certain time, it would do it. I don't see anything else that I could really do to, you know, even think that it would help. So, LAN is enabled. That's not it. Okay. I can't even think what to write down right now. I guess I'll just go at it again tomorrow. And I went ahead and let it go into boot mode again because I really wasn't thinking. Got 3 kernels to go into. I was thinking an older kernel would help, but what the heck. And of course I tried it on, well, that USB stick would be the oldest, older than either one of those. It'd either be that first one or even older than the first one on the list there. Well, let it boot up, and I'm sure it won't work, but yeah, that's got to be fixed. I mean, I can do a workaround. Well, I think I can do a workaround by putting a PCI card in it. I may try that just to make sure that. Well, let's see. I mean, the only thing I can think, the only thing I know that could possibly be, you know, that I think might be wrong is that speaker. It's plugged in backwards. Maybe if I'll try flipping the speaker. What the heck? It's easy to do. Moving that speaker plug in. I don't, you know, you got to have like a beep on. Oh, I know one thing that'll make them beep. If you just keep on and on and on and on, well, at least most of them, if you keep on and on hitting a key during boot, the speaker will, you know, go beep, 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 because you gave it too many commands. I haven't, can't think of anything else to test the speaker, the little motherboard speaker. So I guess that's 2 things I ought to check is the speaker. Well, I'm just going to do that right now. I'm going to try to make it beep. If I don't hear it beep, then I'll write down to check that. So off the speaker and check, kind of double check the other wiring. Because that, you know, I mean, that's something that I could have made a mistake on, and I can't think of anything. Of course, I didn't do any plugging that actually has directly to do with the Ethernet, but, you know, if I did something wrong, it might cause a short, really, you know, that was causing Ethernet to not work. Oh, yeah, you got to hard shut it down. I forgot. Or reset. Because I'm just going to keep on hitting it and hitting it and hitting it and try to make it. As soon as, you know, I usually stop when I see coming up what I want coming up, but if you keep on doing it anyway, then it usually will beep at you. Nope. Well, maybe that speaker's not plugged in right because it didn't beep at me like they usually do. Okay, so let me write that down. Can't write. Okay, note to self. Now I'm not gonna go go in there again. I'm just gonna shut it down. I may have to do another hard shutdown, but we'll see. I hadn't been watching the boot sequence. But a lot of times it'll get by you before you can see. But while it's booting up, it always checks and hooks up. Well, it hooks up to the Ethernet during boot. All of them do. All the Fedora, all the Linux systems do, and you can sit there and watch it and see if it fails or succeeds. If you get in there quick enough. When it works, it goes by pretty quick. Usually. Now that's just going to do that again. So. Yeah, that speaker didn't beep, so I'll flop it over. I'll reverse it and see if and then I'll try banging on the keys on the keyboard and see if it'll, I've just been hitting F2, the one that you get into BIOS with. Of course, sometimes you have to hit the wrong one to get it to beep at you. Usually if you just hit the right one, but to keep hitting it over and over and over, it'll beep at you. So, yeah, I'll resume my research later on that. I am tired, hungry. No wonder it's 11 o'clock. But, oh well, got some work done. What did I do on this thing? Oh, the fan. That took forever. It was hard. Gosh, I can't believe that. Tiny stuff is so hard for me to work with now. That finger still, it hurts right in there. And I can't find, there's no hole in it, there's no crack, I don't have a piece of metal in it or splinter or anything. It's been a couple of weeks or more now. Really weird. It just started, one day it felt I was wiping dust off of a cable with a paper towel in my hand, and all of a sudden, and it hurt. And I was busy, and I didn't even stop and look at it for a long time, but it kept bugging me. I thought, well, maybe I got something in it. And I've looked at it, I don't know how many, 5 times or more, I think now. Looked at it on the endoscope, looked at it on my magnifying glasses. I even got my headset. I've got a jeweler's headset that I use for stuff, and I've got it out, and I can't see nothing in there. But it just bugs me. Constant little nagging little pain when my fingers rub together. All right, so yeah, everything bugs me tonight. Okay, so got something done anyway. But boy, that's just, I'll be too disappointed. It's usually some especially when you take a machine apart, put it back together, there's usually some kind of thing you missed or something, you know. So I'm glad I thought of that. It just may be one of the wires that I didn't plug into the right spot in the motherboard. I've had that happen before, and I don't ever remember anything about Ethernet one way or the other, you know. That's the most likely thing. So I'm gonna look at that first before I do any more research, because other people's problems are not always what yours are. I mean, you can usually find, when it comes to the software, most of the time you can find it pretty quick just searching on Google. But when it comes to do with hardware stuff, there's lots of variables, you know. What did you do? What you didn't do with it, and all that. Okay, so I'm gonna go get me some supper. Put all this stuff up. All right, I'll probably work on it again tomorrow. Plan on it. Okay, bye bye.